Okay. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Amy Steinberg. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. I am so excited to be here with you, sitting in for your own. Welcome to this wonderful, incredible experience of love. I'm going to sing us a little something to get us started. This is one of my own. It goes like this. Oh, there's a power in a seed, reminding itself how to become a tree. There's a power in a cell, and it's capable of making a you or a me. There's a power in a word, vibrating at a frequency. There's a power inside that power, inside that power is love, 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 love. And you can sing that part with me. Just love. Sing it with me. Breathe it in. We sing love, 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 love. And you can feel it revealed when an open, broken heart begins to be healed. It breaks like the sky when a long, dark night starts spinning on the wheel of the world. Watch it rise. Out of the ashes comes another day, a bright light shining through your eyes. So much surprise every time we fall in love, 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 love. Here it is. Love, 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 love. And you know what? There's a force in the fist, but when unclenched, it ceases to exist. It shifts into light. So much freedom releases from the wrist, so insist on bliss, 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 and love, 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 yeah, love, 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 love. There's a power in a seed, reminding itself how to become a tree. There's a power in a cell, and it's capable of making a you or a me. There's a power in a word, love, vibrating at a frequency. There's a power inside that power, yeah. And oh, that power, you know what it is. Back of all of it is love. Good morning.
Good morning. That power is indeed love, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, it's certainly been expressed by you already this morning, and what a joy it is for each one of us to be able to revel in that energy of love that's being expressed by means of the divine, by means of Amy Steinberg. So, good morning, Amy.
Good morning, Reverend Keith.
How is it going there in Asheville, North Carolina?
You know, it's a sunny day. We're in the dog days, and we're in Chihuahua days of summer up here.
How wonderful. I'm not quite sure what that means.
How
The
about
Chihuahua
Los
days.
Angeles?
Say what?
How's it going in Los Angeles?
Going good. It's July here. It's heat and hot, and but life, life is good. Life is
Life is
good. I think in the
expressed.
context of all, we are very, very blessed to have the life that we lead. So
Amen.
um, that is exactly what we're going to continue to celebrate this morning. I'm so happy that you're here, not only to stand in for your own Spiewak, our music director today, but also be our guest musical director. And you and I are going to do a really fun interaction of spontaneity with music and talk and inspiration from Reverend Ernest, not Reverend, Dr. Ernest Holmes later in our service today. So I'm looking forward to sharing that. So, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond, a big thank you to Amy Steinberg for being here today. Amy, you'll join us back in just a moment online, and we'll see you then. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So, good morning, everyone. I am Reverend Dr. Keith Cox. I am the spiritual leader here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and it is my joy and my honor and my pleasure and my privilege to be with you today as we come together for our weekly gathering known as a Sunday celebration service that takes place here online in this wonderful setting of technology. And so I want you to know that you are honored and appreciated and blessed just as you are right here not only in technology land, but where you sit in the world of today. So I'm going to throw some graphics on the screen for just a moment to have us kick off our service, and then it'll be mostly human interaction of Amy and I after that. So it'll be less graphics for today just to inform you of that. So here we go. And so, a big hello and welcome to our community known as the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. We want to begin our service today, as we do each and every Sunday, by taking a moment to move into the act of namaste. That is a Sanskrit word and meaning that the essence, the foundation of it, is the power of the divine, God, Source, the thing itself that exists within each and every one of us, that resides within our life as a power that we process and experience by the use of our mind, takes a moment to honor and acknowledge that within each other. And so we do that by placing our hands together in prayer position, placing them to our heart, taking a deep breath in and bringing into our mind's eye all of humanity that's interconnected in this moment, opening our eyes and bringing our hands to our lips, blessing, raising to our third eye, back to our lips, back to our heart, and bowing forward and saying together, Namaste. The divine, the light, the life in me honors and acknowledges and appreciates and celebrates the light, the divine, the power in you. As a community, we've been coming together for a little over 31 years now in Los Angeles as what's been known for many years as a non-denominational community. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a moment. But we come together and welcome all races, all religions, all countries of origin, all sexual orientations, all genders, all abilities. For we stand with you, literally metaphorically, as we do this together in a technological format. But we stand with you in mind, in heart, in soul, and in reality to let you know that you're safe here just as you are. One of my favorite metaphysical quotes by Dr. Ernest Holmes is Spirit has placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you. What that means is the you just as you are, is perfect, whole, and complete as a divine being as you express your humanity. And so we welcome you into this home known as the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. And let's all affirm together, as our founding minister, Dr. David Walker, used to say each and every Sunday morning when he was with us here on this earthly plane, we welcome one and we welcome all. As a community, we come together to practice primarily the teachings of Dr. Ernest Holmes through the science of mind. That, along with other metaphysical teachings, are teachings that are based in the philosophy and faith and way of life that there's only one power that exists in the universe. We individualize that power through our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, our reactions, and our interactions with life itself. We live in a universe that is governed by spiritual law. So much like we live in a universe that is governed by physical law and the spiritual law, what that means is the way that we tend to our mind, our heart, our soul, our being, our consciousness, if you will, then the law of life will bring back into our field of experience, the daily life itself, a reflection of what's going on in our mind, heart, soul, and being. So it's up to us to pay attention to our thinking because our thinking creates our life. And so as a community, we have a vision statement of supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. We as a community believe that each one of us, as we tune in to this power that exists within us, whose qualities are peace and power and beauty and joy and light, life, love, and wisdom, not limited to those, but those are the ones that are within us as per this teaching. That as we tend to that in the way that we show up in life, we have the opportunity to awaken to a greater spiritual nature, our nature indeed, and in so doing become more personally self-empowered. In other words, to know who we are as we navigate this journey of life, honoring each stamp of individuality that exists out there. And so today I invite each one of us to open our mind, our heart, our soul, our being to receive information by means of intuition or the message that's shared or through the music or just simply the reality of the interconnectedness of the community that comes together. To be that catalyst, that spark, that impetus to remind us that deep within us we already know who we are as a divine being expressing the light of the divine. And so, as we open our service this morning, we will do that, continuing this awakening for each one of us with a ritual. The ritual is called calling in the light. And so I invite you to hear this ritual as you watch the flickering flame of the candles on the screen, as they represent the unique expressions of each one of us, yet all using the same source for light. The purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering this morning a conscious awareness of our oneness, the qualities that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. And so today we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. And so fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. For our ritual of calling in the light today, I'm going to go old school and use the language from the flames of faith. And so we light the candle today, the metaphorical candle, for the religion called the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We also light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. These candles are also illuminated for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We also light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. In lighting of this candle or candles, we also do it for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. As we open ourselves up, we continue to honor the lighting of the candle and calling in the light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness, which is also known as the path of love. Continuing in this ignition of the candles, we do so for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And we also illuminate this candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. As if we were lighting each candle individually, we would light the ninth candle in the flames of faith for all forms of new thought. It's that which we practice here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual practices. And as we light this candle once again in our mind's eye, we shall now call and decree this candle the healing candle. And we'd like for each of us to take a moment and think of anyone, which may include ourselves, that we would like to silently put into the light of the healing flame to experience the eternal and everlasting love of the divine. And so as we bring those individuals into our mind's eye, we will continue this ritual and close it out through the song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. Amy's going to come back on the screen and take us through this song. I invite you to sing along as the lyrics will be on the screen. Of Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Let there be peace on earth place that was meant to be, with God as creator, united are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment, to live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And so I affirm for each of us that peace exists within, purposeful energy activating conscious evolution. And so it begins with each one of us right now. We release any detachment to the possibility of peace being real for us and affirm and own and reveal our own divine nature out to the world, letting the stamp of individuality that's been placed upon itself, calling itself you, the I am. Letting it out to play in a new way today, honoring the freedom that exists within us as conscious beings, trusting with every fiber of our being that the law of life is doing its part as it always does, manifesting, demonstrating, creating, revealing through us the good that is innate within us. And for that we say, let it be as we set it free. Amen. And so it is.
Amen.
What a beautiful rendition of Let There Be Peace on Earth, Amy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My first church that I worked at, that's where I learned it, and it's just one of those songs that just anchors itself right there in your heart.
Doesn't it? I completely agree with you. And I apologize to those of you that I said I would have the lyrics on the screen. I had put the wrong slide up there. So it all worked out perfectly. It's an exercise in freedom. Today is the last Sunday in the month of July, and I'm so excited to share this realm with Amy Steinberg and with each of you. We made the decision to play in the realm of freedom today by sharing. I'm going to share some quotes and science of mind cards. There are these cards called the Science of Mind, which are quotes by Dr. Ernest Holmes, who wrote the book, The Science of Mind, today. And let that be a stimulus to me to let the freedom of my innate nature of spirit and wisdom within speak to you. And then while I'm letting it speak to you, it's going to stir up within Amy something that she might want to say, both from the spoken word perspective as well as musically. And then she's going to sing a song to us so that we have the weaving together of both music and art and wisdom and inspiration and the audible, to touch each one of us in whatever way is being called from deep within to be reminded of the opportunity for renewal that exists within us. And so, Amy, my intuition tells me to start with the quote that went out from a New Thought text that I send out every day. And some of you may think that it's a dark quote, but it's not. It's really something that's calling us to remember what we have deep within us. And it's from Elizabeth I. And the quote is this: "Grief never ends, but it changes. It is a passage, not a place to stay. Grief is not a sign of weakness nor a lack of faith. It's the price of love." And my instruction for us on the new thought of the day text is, may today be the day we each embrace our grief through the lens of love. May we cherish those we've lost and honor them by sharing our love. And so, what this says to me is to not only honor and cherish those individuals that we love that have left this earthly plane, and sometimes not even left the earthly plane, just left that human sharing that we had, whether it's been through the loss of friendship or a moment in our career or just simply the loss of a dream, that may we not look at it so much through the lens of loss, but through the lens of love, um, of that love of both the human love, so that we can be grateful for the opportunity to have lived and shared in that experience, to have been enlivened by the interaction of the very things that we had that give us the opportunity to have the memory of those things, but also look at it through the lens of love, of that agape love. The love which is unconditional, the love that is, Ernest Holmes says, the self givingness of spirit whose desires to create more of itself. And the only way it can do that is through you and through me. And that last statement of through you and through me speaks to the only way that we can know that we're having the interaction of love is because it is an interaction. And so if it was an act of solitude, it wouldn't have the same meaning. And so I know that as I sit here and look into the eyes of my beloved Amy Steinberg, and we have a long, rich history, there have been times in our life, both collectively and individually, where that which we've shared has separated. And there's grief around those big events as they've happened. I know that's true for you in your own personal life, Amy. And yet, if all of those things had not happened, we couldn't be right here, right now. And I pass to you.
I feel a healing going on, right now. And I love this idea that grief can be a portal to love and everything can be a portal to love. And we've definitely been through so many things that could be, um, that break us open. And I love that quote that the heart breaks to make more room for love,
Mhm.
and this idea of expanding. And as you were speaking, I was thinking of this moment that I had after my dad passed, and which was definitely the most transformative experience of my life. And I was out meditating, and this chant came through me. It literally came through me. And I thought maybe I would sing it for you. And it's very simple, but this is what connected me to this idea that love is happening to me, through me, as me, and if I don't give it out, I can't receive it. And as I grieve, I release more, and I open to more, and everything's right on time. Is everything right on time? Is everything right on
Yes,
time, Keith?
it is right on time. First off,
Oh,
time is an
Lord, help us
illusion, but yes,
all.
it is.
Love, sweet love, surrounds me now. Love, sweet love, comes through, Love, sweet love, surrounds me now. Love is the only truth. See, love is the only truth, right? Love is the only truth. Sing it with me. Love, sweet love surrounds me now, if you want to out there. Love, sweet love surrounds me now. Love, sweet love comes through. Can't block it. Love, sweet love surrounds me now. Love is the only truth. Love is the only truth. Love is the only truth. I'm going to do one more time for the power of three. Come on. Love, sweet love surrounds me now. And love, sweet love comes through if we let it. Love, sweet love surrounds me now. Allow, allow, allow. Love is the only truth. Love is the only truth. Those are my thoughts on that. What's the
Uh,
next card, Keith?
we're not going to get to the card just yet. We're going to in just a second. But before we do that, there's a couple of things I want to say. One is I want to thank you because I don't know that you know this. And it's in this context of loss and grief and love. And when we may have been the last time we saw each other in person, which was at the Circle of Love here in the high desert of Southern California. And it was prior to you having taken the job that you did in Asheville. So you're still here in San Diego. I had just lost my beloved four legged spiritual offspring, Sadie. So I was in just this deep rooted grief. But we also had all lost our beloved Etika Luckett, right? And so when we had a morning of memorial in one of the sessions there, you were talking about the transformation of life to death and the life to death anyway. And I'm going to paraphrase what you said, but I think it's important to say this so that people can hear it because it was a turning point for me of healing and has helped me help others heal. And you said, when we welcome life into this form, we have this beautiful belief and situation and ceremony where we get to see the baby leave the womb or the newborn come out of the womb and be birthed into this glory of beauty and love. And why can't we hold that same belief for when we go to the next dimension? It's the same thing. I'm getting emotional. And I remember in that moment thinking, that is one of the most effing brilliant things I've ever heard. Right? Right?
Oh my gosh.
Because it not only is true, right, that we can hold that idea, but it also makes sense. Like why would it be so different when you leave this one, right, than
Right.
the one you came into?
Yeah.
And it also speaks to the infinite nature of love. And so it really speaks to what we're talking about. We can hold both grief to what we've lost. We can stand true in our beliefs, and we can also be open to beauty making itself known. And so I just wanted to share that with you and say thank you.
Wow.
And there have been times with others that I've used that it's been so powerful.
Because
And so
think about that, that dark womb, that space. We don't know anything different than that space. When we're
right,
those little beings inside another being, we are in this dark space, and then all of a sudden we pop out into this grand divine new essence of experience. And yes, wouldn't it be that when we shift, that it would be some other great wide open, something beyond anything we could comprehend.
right.
I'm hoping that's, I'm knowing that's and there was a beautiful book that I read when my father passed. I don't know if you've read it, called Proof of Heaven. Have you
No,
ever read it? By Eben Alexander. He was a neurosurgeon who went into a coma and was brain dead. So he was able to look at the scans back to see that anything that he experienced was not in his brain, it was in his consciousness.
yeah.
And he goes around and speaks at all different places about his experience of the afterlife, and it is extraordinary. You're on the edge of your seat listening to what he says about what happens to us, and this is what happened for him. And but this idea that there's something extraordinary waiting for us when we
Well, there
pass.
has to be
Yeah.
because that's the foundational elements of our teaching, right? If consciousness is infinite, we believe it is. If expression of life is infinite, we believe it is. There has to be. Why would it not be? Why would it not be? All right, Les, you ready for me to pull a card?
Yes, I love oracle cards and
All
divine
right.
cards and all that stuff. It's
All
all
right.
very
So
exciting.
the card is titled Truth. And the quote from The Science of Mindful Thermostat says, in our ignorance of the truth, we've missed the highest power we possess. My sense of this is speaking of from a very 15,000 foot viewpoint, right? That I think that when it's written, my interpretation is just like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, if you miss the ignorance of the truth, you've missed the highest power you possess. And yet, I don't think that's what it's speaking to. To me, it's speaking of every moment we forget of the truth of our own power and the power that is within us, we've then missed it. And so it's not just about manifesting some magnificent thing in our life, it's about every thought, every belief, every action, that we have the opportunity to remember who we are and what is within us, that's what shifts the trajectory, right? It's that moment of now, of letting go of what was and letting go of what is to be and living in the now. And that's not talking about chronology. It's about the moment, right? And then the moment, and then the moment, and then the moment, right? And then the moment. Like last night, I was laying on the couch with Sweeney, and she was my new, not she's not new anymore, but she was new relative to what talking about Sadie. And just her taking and putting her paw in my hand on the couch. She didn't want to touch me any other way, but she just wanted to put her paw in my hand. And those moments were so beautiful because uh, it was a vibrational frequency to it that was both tangible, and yet the power behind it is transcendent of the experience, right? That's the truth. We have that power
Mm,
within us
mm.
always. And always meaning whether we remember it or not, and always meaning prior to our entering this form of life and will after we exit it.
So sacred.
Yeah.
That moment when the paw reaches out. It's
Yeah.
like the most sacred moment. You just brought me, and as you spoke about Erika Luckett, I was thinking of their song "So Sacred" and so precious. This thing that comes together, the oneness, the allness. Um, I also, as you were speaking, I was thinking of, growing up Jewish, one of the things you hear over and over again is remember who you are, remember who you are. And then you come into Science of Mind and you hear remember who you are, remember who you are. And I was thinking, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm like thinking, I'm
Yeah.
trying to sort of like be with what you're saying and be present with you, and also think about what song is matching what you're saying.
Sure.
But another thought that I had was great teacher Ash Ruiz was talking today on my other presentation that I was a part of, and he said that there are many languages that don't have any past or future tense. I
I
never
love
knew
that.
that.
I didn't either.
Isn't that fascinating?
That's fascinating.
And so when something is out of the perception, it just doesn't even exist. So this now moment that you're talking about. So the song that came to me, I'm feeling very chanty during
Good.
this. These are
At
the
home.
songs that are coming to me. I want it to be ease and grace. So this is one that you'll love and you'll remember and you'll know. And it's very simple. It goes like this. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am, child of God. I am remembering who I am, the power. I am remembering. I am remembering. I'm a child of the Most High God. I am one with the all. Everything it runs through my blood. I'm right here, right now. I'm right here, right now. I am a child of the Most High God. Love, I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. Little improvisation in the middle there. That's a
The
Melissa
best way.
Felipe song, as you well
Well, we
know.
are talking about freedom, and that is the key. I think that what a great example then for the balance of, the remembering is not an act of bringing the external into the internal. A remembering is
Mm,
going deeper within and removing any blocks so that that internal can make itself known,
mm. I
right?
love that.
Because
You're
who
not
we are
seeking
is,
out there.
yeah, it's not out here, it's within. Now, what's within is interconnected to what's out there,
Mm,
but it's from what's within. And so I always and was reminded as you were just singing that of remembering who I am of one of my greatest teachers, David Walker, who would stand at the podium at the Wilshire Theater and talk about go to that place within you that knows and knows that it knows.
Hmm.
And then I like to add that knows that it knows that knows that it knows who you are, who I am.
Mm.
And that creates that not only a visceral experience, but that visual experience of going internal, right? And then that internal is interconnected to those that helped awaken that within us, those that helped awaken that within David, those that helped awaken that within his teacher,
Mm.
those that awakened that within the man that you spoke of who wrote the book. We all have that space, place, using language to identify it within all of us. And it's all the same,
Mm.
right? That's the oneness that Ernest Holmes speaks of. You know, it's not oneness as a concept, it's oneness as a spiritual reality. So, on that
Mm.
note, let's shuffle the Ernie cards.
So fun.
Hello,
I
Ernie
love it.
Holmes. Speak to me through the Saiyaman
Talk to us,
cards.
Ernie.
That's
Speak to
right.
us.
All right. So, fantastic. So, the card is titled Possibility,
Ooh.
right? And the back of it reads the potential possibility of what we call the highest and the lowest is inherent in everything. They are not different things. They are the same thing functioning at different levels. Wow. First of all, it makes me think of David Leonard with the dance of the beloved, you know, dancing with your humanity and your divinity.
Yes.
But this speaks to me also in the context of the journey of my life of remembering of what is possible. For years, I've talked about on my desk for many, many years. I had this quote by this gentleman named Gil Atkinson that says, "Impossible is just an opinion." And I came across that yesterday, organizing some stuff in my garage. But it takes me back to the journey I've been on this teaching, where when I first got into this teaching, I truly did believe that everything was about placing stuff into my mind so that I could have a belief system of what is possible. And we're being told in this card that that is part of the act, but it's also important to know that it's at the deepest level. What we were just talking about of the I am that I am that I am. I know that I know that I know that I know that I know. And it's by tapping into the deepest level of the I know that I know that I know that I know who I am that we're able to then stretch our consciousness as high as possible, and from there tune into a frequency that is higher than before, thus bringing into our experience that which was what was previously conceived of as impossible because we didn't have the mindset for it. So as we tune into that higher mindset by being more deeply rooted in our identity, then life shifts,
Mm.
right? That's in life shifts. And what it shifts to is
Mhm.
I'm having a visual of the map of consciousness from Dr. David Hawkins now as it shifts into a higher vibrational frequency, that place where you live from power, where you let go of your ego, and then you live as a divine being navigating your humanity as you're walking this planet. In other words, you're living out your peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. And because we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law, you're drawing back into your field of experience more of that. And then its innate nature is to propagate more of itself, thus creating this force field around us
Mm.
of that which it is, right? But
Mm.
that can only transpire if we have the willingness to go into the depths of the darkness, using the analogy that you did a moment ago about going deep enough so that we then go to the depths of the womb of creation so that we can give birth to the highest. We can breathe there.
I just feel like improvising something
Go for
because,
it.
you know, I don't, there's like a song of mine that kind of comes to mind, which is my eyes are wide and open. My eyes can And once you know where your freedom lies, you can't go back and close your eyes. The truth, it cannot be denied. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. My heart is clear, growing. My heart can see, and my soul is full of knowing. I know that I know that I know that I know. And my soul can see. I am awake. We sing it, we sing. I am awake. I am awake. And once you know where your freedom lies, you can't go back and close your eyes. The truth, it cannot be denied. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. That's right. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. He said, once you know where your freedom lies, you can't go back and close your eyes. The truth, it cannot be denied. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. You are the light, you are the light. Anything is possible, anything is possible. You are the light, you are the light, you are the light. Anything is possible. Cause I know that I know that I know that I know. Anything is possible. I know that I know that I know that I know, yeah. Anything is possible. Anything. You know that Eddie Watkins Jr. song, Anything is Possible,
I
or when
do.
you believe. So that song's going on in my mind too. But it's like this idea that once I know, I can't unknow.
Exactly.
And then I go, why aren't I feeling free right now? It's because I forgot.
Right.
I forgot. I need to remember.
You either
So I
forgot
need
or
to
you're
remember.
pretending that you don't know. The key is to quit pretending that you don't know, because
Ooh,
once you know, you know.
I like that. Quit
Yeah.
pretending you don't know the truth of yourself. Quit pretending you don't know you're a divine
Or
child of
pretend,
God.
or pretending that you don't know how this stuff works, right?
Yeah.
As we all do.
Oh,
We've
I
all
have a little tiny teeny story that I have to
go.
inject in that because the word pretend. I met Lily Tomlin one time, and Lily Tomlin, right? She's fantastic. And I asked her. I was very serious, and I said, what's your mode of acting? How do you use Meisner or Stanislavski? What's your technique?" And she looked at me and she goes, "I pretend." Isn't that the best story? So, we're all
Very,
pretending,
very Lily, yes, very Lily Tomlin thing.
yeah,
So
she's great.
light. You were singing of light, and my acronym for these, everyone knows I love acronyms. For light is living in God's healing truth. And so
Mm,
the truth is that we know, the truth is that we have that light. The truth is that we can't go back, right? So we're all called to, when we move beyond that ceiling of disbelief into the state of belief, then let what was our ceiling now become our floor from where we grow. Right? So it's about that's the journey that we speak on. So okay, so let's see what card he has for
I
us now.
just wanted to check also these comments. I hadn't been looking. I was looking over it, saying, just wanted to say hello to Lenore, Dennis, Stephanie, Olivia, those who are listening and commenting here. Miriam,
Oh, on
it's very
Facebook.
cool. Yeah,
Yes.
it's very cool.
Thank
To
you.
I kind of have it just on the side just to be able to
No,
see.
oh, I'm glad you're bringing out their names. Good. So hello to those of you on Facebook.
Hello,
So the next
everybody.
card from the Science of Mind
Okay,
by
next
Ernie
card.
is hope. Hope sometimes is considered a bad four-letter word in this teaching, but it's
Yeah.
not, right? So here's the quote. In spite of all conditions, the race believes more in good than in evil. Otherwise, it would not continue to exist. This is the eternal hope and sense of our life. And so when he speaks of race, he's speaking of race mind. What he's saying is that within the inherent nature of the mind of sentient beings is that we believe more in good than evil. Otherwise, we wouldn't continue to exist. So, what he's reminding us of there is that our inherent nature is to not just exist, what we're speaking of, but really to thrive, right? That as we have evolved on this planet, certainly we have used our powers in ways that are destructive to Mother Earth, and we can correct that. but to continue to evolve into higher frameworks of mind for the betterment of life itself.
Mm.
That we know um, as an expression of life, humanity today, that we have deep within us wisdom. We know that we have power. We know that we have intelligence. We look at the things that we have created in life to not let that be, and to not look at the darkness over the light, to not let the um, minority of those that aren't using their power for good, those that are using it for evil, overpower those of us that use it for good, right? Yesterday, you asked me in or Friday, you asked me in our rehearsal when we connected for audio checks, about our previous person that had been living in the White House. Will they run again? And I was like, well, yeah, because of the ego, of the power of all of that. But it's important for us not to silence what's going on there. We need to pay attention to what's going on in the world, but also not to give it power, to give power to good. Well, the only way that we can give power to good is by being the good and
Mm.
remembering that good is a synonym for God.
Mm.
So it's not about living from some state of esotericism. Is that the right word? Of living in a state of esoteric world of what's good or bad, but by being the good. Mahatma Gandhi is given credit for the quote of be the change that you want to be in the world. For us, be the good that you desire to experience in the world.
Mm.
And that can manifest itself and shall manifest itself. I'm talking about the action as simply as knowing the truth for people, speaking the truth for people, being kind to people in the world, changing behavior if your behavior is not being kind or loving to others and yourself, as well as grandiose ideas, grandiose giving large sums of money. It's all part of the activity. One's not greater than the other. The law of life that responds doesn't know the blessing of a flower is perceived to be any greater or less than the blessing of $100 million. There's only value given to it through the human. The law of life, as Ernest Holmes tells us, is the law of life responds by corresponding. And what it corresponds to is the state of mind and the intent by which we express it, the divine itself.
Mm. That's a lot to chew on, and I'm still sort of thinking about what hope. Do you have an acronym for hope? You must.
I don't, but I can bring one up.
Throw
Um,
one together. Because I holy openness, producing ecstasy.
that's
uh,
pretty good.
I, you know, hope is such an interesting topic for science of mind. And as you were talking, I was just thinking about hope, and I have a song called Hope. Um, but it doesn't, it's different than what we were just talking about. But I think I'm going to sing it anyway because you pulled the
Sing
card
it.
Hope, and I have a song called Hope.
Sing it.
But I find it to be so I've been through the 12 steps many times, and hope is one of the spiritual principles of the 12 steps. And then when you come into science mind, or when I came into science of mind originally, sort of I was told like, no, hope is too future, and hope is the yet to be. And so I was sort of confused about what to do with hope. But I have come back to the idea that hope is imperative. And I love how you put it through this idea that we are the hope by being the good, by being the light, by shining the light, by being the light bringers and the light workers. It's like we are the hope. And in this song, I was in early recovery at the time when I wrote it, and I was actually on the step about hope. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to sing this for my brothers and sisters who are struggling right now with, can I get through this? Can I get through this change? This, and we could use this. We could apply this to, can we get through this tough time with the pandemic, with the climate change, with the president, with our ex-president, with all the different things. So I'm gonna sing this one because it's one of my favorites. And when I'm clicking around here, I'm trying to find charts. So that's why I'm with you. It goes,
While you're looking for the chart, I'll just quickly throw in Reverend Kathy Ann Lewis says that hope is imperative in our teaching because it is the capacity to have a higher idea.
oh, Kathy Ann Lewis. She's so wonderful. Okay, this one goes. Down in the depths, in the dark of my heart, all alone in the night with no sun in sight. In a dream, what does anything mean? I can't get a grip on reality. But then I hear a voice telling me I have a choice. It says, hang on, it ain't gonna be long. Stay strong, walk through, walk on. Be still, hand over your will. Give up control, let it be, let it go. Hope, 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 hope. I'm holding on to something that I just can't see, trying to find me some spirituality. Give me a sign, I'm gonna be alright. Help me make it through this desperate night. Then I hear a voice telling me I have a choice. It says, hang on, it ain't gonna be long. Stay strong, walk through, walk on. Be still, hand over your will. Give up control, let it be, let it go. Hope, stand tall, cause we all fall. You're gonna make it in the end, my friend. I say hope, hope, hope. Yeah. I said, hang on, it ain't gonna be long. Stay strong, walk through, walk on. Be still, hand over that will. Give up control, let it be, let it go. I say, hope, hope, hope.
Oh, how fantastic. What a perfect song. I love that. It helps. What a great guide for us to realize and to remember the holding on, which stimulated me to come up with three different acronyms. Okay,
Oh,
so
yay!
so here they are. One is holding on to positive energy. Now,
Ooh.
many that know me know I don't like that word positive, but I think in this case it's important because hope
Tell me
is.
about that. I don't know that you don't like that word
Well,
positive.
because I think it creates such dualistic, everything's either positive or negative. So I think I look at life more as holding on to the life affirming, right? What is
Uh-huh.
life affirming?
Uh-huh.
More divine. But in this case, since it's about um, creating the mindset till the next, right? Then I think it's important. So holding on to
Something good
positive
is going to
energy,
happen. Like there
right?
will be good
Right.
down the road.
Holding on to positive energy. The other one is hearing one power everywhere.
How much do you love acronyms? Can we
I
just
love them. I love
let's
them.
hear
And then the next one is healing our planet every day.
Oh, every day with that
Every
hope.
day.
As long as we keep hope alive, we heal ourselves, we heal others, we heal the planet. Amen, amen,
And then
amen.
to remember that healing, according to Ernest Holmes, is revealing. Healing is revealing
Ooh.
the divine nature that is within.
Oh,
So, all right. So the next card,
is this our
meditate.
last card, do you think? Probably?
Could be,
Do
yeah,
you want maybe?
yeah. We'll
Just
see.
checking
Depends
in.
on what song comes to you to close us out. If that's what it is.
Okay.
So meditate. Meditate is the card. And he writes, "The one who wishes scientifically to work out." I'm gonna reframe this in non-gender specific terms.
Okay.
The one that wishes scientifically to work out their problems must daily take the time to meditate and mentally treat the condition, no matter what the apparent contradictions may be.
Mm.
So, having taught classes with meditation, I know there are a lot of people out there that struggle with meditation. And
Mm-hmm.
the struggle is that it's believed that meditation is prescriptive in the way that you have to stop and cross your legs and put your hands down and om three times and bring it in. But I don't think I don't believe that that's what's being spoken to in the modern day approach to metaphysics. I'm not saying that's a wrong way to do it. I just don't think that's the way. What I've learned over the last year, and certainly in a class I taught, was the difference between prayer and meditation is prayer is speaking to the power, to God, the source, the thing itself. Meditation is listening.
Mm.
And so when it speaks here to meditation, what we're being told to do is if we really do wish to use metaphysics, the aspect of oneness and the law of life, tending to consciousness, to solve whatever's going on in our life, then we must take the time to listen to the divine.
Mm.
Right? We must take the time to shift what's going on internally, mentally, emotionally, because that's the only way to treat the condition, because the condition is an outpicturing of that which is within.
Mm.
And so, certainly in the world, I can speak for myself. I know that there are times that I get caught up in wanting to fix what's going on in the outside, that the outside, what I see is what matters. It's not the way it is. It's about going in. It takes us right back to how we began this, of going back into that knowing that we know that we know that we know, and then letting that rise up and make itself known. So the act then of meditation, of listening, can be through music. It can be through the spoken word. It can be through silence. I was working with a client this week that has a real challenge with the chatter of his mind in life. And I was sharing with him, going back to David Hawkins, a great component of the teaching of David Hawkins. David Hawkins says it's important, and I think you and I talked about this on Friday, it's important for us to tune into the silence,
Mm.
because it's because of the silence that we then get to hear the birds chirping, the songs playing, the air conditioner compressor doing its thing, right? The television. It's because of the silence we get to
Mm.
hear the rest of it, right? And so don't curse the rest of it, embrace the rest of it,
Mm.
because we get to experience that because the silence, meaning that within, is.
Mm.
And so, my parting words to us then today, before you sing our last song, is let's all remember that that's who we are. We are that energy that is the silence within. This at CSL-LA for years, Bunny Hall would sing a song. In the silence, there is
Oh,
peace.
love that.
It's a I just went blank on his name.
Is it Jack Fowler?
Jack Fowler song, yeah. In the silence,
I
there's
love that song.
unspoken love. In the silence, there is you, right? It's there. So,
Um, I really appreciate us ending with this energy of the peace within, the peace that comes, that passes understanding, if you will, that we hear about. Um, and I keep thinking about Erika, and I
uh-huh.
keep thinking about this chant that is one of my favorites that her and Lisa did. And I think this is a perfect way for anybody out there who has that monkey mind. I have it as well. I have a lot of chatter. And just sitting quietly and opening my heart, softening my heart is what seems to work for me in healing everything. It just heals everything. It's incredibly healing to just sit down and shut up. I remember when I was struggling so bad with learning to meditate, and I had some really harsh sponsors in recovery, and they would say, just sit down and shut up. Just sit down and shut up. And that's really difficult for some of us. So here's a sweet chant to close us out. It's one of my favorites, and I dedicate this to the memory of Erika, who held such a presence of divine awareness, living the light like very few people that I know can. So this is open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my heart. Open wide my watching, open your arms. Open wide my heart. Yeah, it feels so good. Open wide my heart. 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 Open wide my heart.
Amy, thank you. I just feel I must share this right now. The opening of the arms in that song, in that time that we shared together when we all said goodbye to Etika, I was drawn to the back of that room, and I don't know if you recall that, and I kept climbing to the highest place I could find in the room. And I ended up on a speaker. I climbed on a chair, and then I was drawn up against the wall with my arms held open like this, and they just kept
Oh.
coming. And I kept thinking, the monkey mind was, I know that everybody's looking at me thinking I'm crazy, right? And yet I would close that down and just say, be open. And
I love
I
that.
left right after that and got in the car and drove down the hill. And I don't remember if Lisa had given me Etika's wife or I had picked them up, but it was either a CD or a booklet or something of my beloved Etika. And I drove and drove and drove and drove and drove and drove and drove, right, paying attention to the road. And I got to this little town once I got down out of the high desert and came to a stoplight. And my and I was crying, thinking of Etika, just how much I love her and miss her. And something said to me, reach down and grab what you had been given from her. And when I reached down and grabbed it, I think I don't remember if it was a CD or a book or whatever, but it was a photo of her. And I think it was from her last album as she was standing on a rock with her arms up like that.
Wow, I just got
I
chills.
know. And I knew that she had come and said it's okay, you know?
Yes.
So I share that with all of you as Amy closed us out with such that beautiful song to be open to the blessing of life itself, that continuation. We kicked off this time together speaking of grief, of loss. And so I invite all of us to make a covenant and a commitment today as we move forward to not focus on the loss in life, but to focus on the love in life
That's beautiful.
and know that that will be the greatest gift that we can give to ourselves and to others as we move forward into this next expression of life for each one of us. For each expression that's in front of us is a next expression.
I just want to say that as you speak about this circle of love gathering that we were at, it was so wonderful to be able to be with you when you weren't having to lead. It
Yes.
was like one of the only times I've ever been with you, other than on like car drives where we've, and we
Right.
had dinner a couple times, but it was so wonderful to see you be able to, you know, put down the leader hat and just be vulnerable and open and to sort of meet Keith. Because
Yeah.
I know Reverend Keith and Reverend Keith got, and I mean, I've always been in love with you, but I fell deeper in love with you at that experience. That was a really
Well, thank you.
beautiful
Well, I fell
week.
deeper in love with you today. I'm so glad we got to play this way. I
Thank you for
hope that
having me.
oh, so wonderful. And we decided to do this very spontaneously as the last Sunday of freedom, a way of life for our theme for this month. So a big thank you. Know that I love you. Know that I
I
love
hope
you.
somebody out there really feels fed by this, as we were talking about earlier. If one person feels fed by this, then we have done our work for the
They
day.
have. I know that they have, and I affirm that.
Mhm.
And so, anyway, I'm going to invite you to stay on the screen for all of you that are joining us today. This concludes the message interconnected part of our wonderful service this morning. We're going to move into the last two elements, and we've done it in a very non-traditional format today, as opposed to one song and then the message and another song. So, I trust and hope that everyone has loved and enjoyed this as much as we have enjoyed doing it together. And so I'm going to put on the screen right now an opportunity for those of you that feel compelled to support us financially, the methodology to do that, and to know that this beloved ministry known as the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles thrives and survives based on the support of those of you out there in the world that feel compelled to live in abundance. And so I'm going to, as I put on the screen the methods to do that, Amy will get ready to take us through our conscious giving song called Love Is My Decision. No mistake, of course, that that's the song for today. The methods to do that are you can go to our website, csl-la.org, and click on donate. Go to the app in the App Store, Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. Click on the upper left bars. The screen will come up. You'll see the donate tab, or you can mail in a check. Our address is 1200 North Luray Avenue, West Hollywood, California, 90038. And my phone number is 963-1653, area code 310, if you'd like to personally call me and have me handle it personally. Amy, take us away, please, to that beloved song.
Such a beautiful song. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, Source will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now.
Ah, love is my decision. Thank you so much, Amy. A huge thank you to my beloved Amy Steinberg for playing in this realm with us today. As Robert just posted, he called it a mash up. What did he call it? Let me see what he called it. Cards jam session mashup. So
I love it. Yes.
right. And so a huge thank you also to Robert Hensley, our administrative assistant and social media guru, for guiding us through this morning. A big thank you to Travis Smith, our audio technician, who just rocks. And thank you, Travis, for all that you do. A big thank you to all of you who have come into the realm of CSL-LA today. If this has touched your heart, your soul, your being, please join us again, whether it's through Facebook Live and or Zoom and or through our YouTube channel. A big shout out to all of you that's here today, and a big welcome to all of you. I want to remind you all that you can find all of what's going on here at CSL-LA through our website, csl-la.org, or through our app in the App Store, Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, or follow us on all the various social media sites. A reminder that we have a weekly e-newsletter that goes out first part of the week. Wednesday morning at 8:30, I do a guided meditation. Please join us and come in and open yourself up to meditation in a new way, since Ernie told us to do that in the last card. And also, just to let you know that you can follow Amy Steinberg at amysteinberg.net, or what is it?
House of Love and Light.
House of Love and Light. And so with that, we're going to bid adieu to all of you. We're going to close out with a meditation prayer, and then we'll say goodbye to those of you that are on Facebook, and those that are here through Zoom can stay online, and we can just say a brief hello. Also, a shout out to all of you that joined us for our picnic last week. It was wonderful to see you all in person and give you a hug. Let's close with a meditation. So as we inhale together and exhale, we listen. We allow. And we align. With the force and source of life itself. We bring into our awareness those beloveds and loved ones that have gone before us, whether that be leaving this plane of action or just exiting that physical interaction with us in our life, that brought joy into our life, whether it was Etika or Dr. Walker or Amy's dad. And we say thank you. And we then let the example of today's spontaneity and freedom be a reminder and an example to us of how we have the power within us to live life fully, revealing our completeness and wholeness and perfection that isn't bound by some exterior circumstance or condition. And so we choose from this moment forward, letting the past be a ceiling that has been converted to a floor, a foundation of newness. And we grow and flow and know as the spirit that exists within us. We honor that stamp of individuality that's been placed upon us, that has called it by the name of each one of us. And we let that being of light out to play more and more and more and more. And in so doing, we not only honor those that have come before us, we not only honor the power that is within us, but we honor the I am that I am. And so today's the day. And we say thank you for the opportunity to evolve, to go higher in mind as we go deeper in soul. Honoring hope when it shows up. Holding on to positive energy when needed, as we hear one power everywhere. And then literally, by God, do our part in healing our planet every day. There is peace on earth, and it is begun by each one of us right now. And so it is. Thank you all so much for being here today. What an honor, a privilege, a pleasure, a joy to play in this realm. We're going to say goodbye to those of you on Facebook. May your week continue to be blessed by the blessings that are you, and to know that you're loved as you continue to be loved. Bye.